enemy.
I want to clarify, he has done 0 videos where he's saying that Russia should stop all the military actions in Ukraine and just withdraw. He has done 0 videos of that. So why the fuck is it so hard to say that Russia needs to stop their fucking aggression and go back home? I wonder why that's so hard for Russia brand to say. I know, I can tell you why. So I think we need to quickly see what bullshit he's saying again. Like, Russell Brand has gone down the rabbit hole pretty fucking deeply. He's talking about the Great Reset, he's talking about globalists, he's talking about... The funny thing about Russell Brand is he's saying that all the big news outlets are trying to manipulate what you think. They are twisting the narratives, which they might do. But then he's quoting them also when it fits his narratives. Like, he's the fucking poster boy at the moment for a bullshit artist that Alex Jones used to be. No, that's not Pick Me Girl. But your Russell Brand is... He throws a lot of like conspiracy things. He's the master of the art. I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying a lot of bullshit, but I'm not saying anything.
Elon Musk is the news. Whether it's buying or not buying Twitter, robots that move about like Joe Biden, or trying to solve the Russia-Ukraine war, Musk is a news machine. So is he right? Is he wrong? Should we listen to him? He's coming on our show. Guess which side we're on.
Thank you for choosing Fox News.
No, here's the fucking news.
Oh,
Hello there, you 6 million Awakening Wonders. Thank you for making it a nice round number. We appreciate you. We love you. Thanks for following us here. Remember to subscribe. Remember to turn on the notification bell. And now join us every day on Rumble. Not Bumble, perverts. Not Rubble, which will be what's created if these wars go ahead. On Rumble, streaming every day at this time. In-depth looks at the stories that the mainstream media will not tell you.
We are in 55 seconds. And he already mentions that big media isn't telling you something. And let's time how long does it take for him to quote a big media.
New perspectives, brilliant experts, beyond left, beyond right. Let's get into today's news. Elon Musk did a poll presenting a potential solution to the current conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Like all people, my sympathies lie with those suffering as a result of this conflict. So that's just my opinion, so you know. But Elon Musk...
Because he said that he's going to double down and say something bullshit, but he can come back to this statement.
Is presenting potential solutions and is facing a backlash as a result, not least from President Zelensky himself. Let's have a look at this story in detail and ask ourselves a few fundamental questions.
Here we go.
1. Does Elon Musk have the right to say whatever he wants? 2. Should people be looking at potential diplomatic solutions to this current conflict? And 3. What do we mean when we say we support Ukraine? Are we to assume that we mean support Ukraine up to and including a nuclear conflict? I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm not saying that if we are going to, then we should be aware that that's what we're doing. Because there's a difference between changing the picture in your bio, putting a sticker in your window, and living in a post-apocalyptic hellscape. So I'm not saying don't do that.
What the fuck are you saying? I've watched like probably 20 to 30 videos. And he says this fucking slogan so many times. He should make a shirt out of it. I'm not saying, but I'm saying, I'm not saying. Like, he's saying a lot of things, but at the same time he's saying nothing. How can you say so much and at the same time say so little?
Some things are worth dying for. Some things are worth dying for. But you should know that that's what you're doing. On Monday, Elon Musk...
The Guardian. It was 55 seconds was the mark he was talking shit about big media. And 1 minute and 9 seconds later, 1 minute and 15 seconds later, 1 minute 15 seconds later, he's quoting the Guardian.
Musk prompted an...
He could have just fucking quoted the Twitter. No, he decided to go to the Guardian.
Online row with Ukraine's president after he asked Twitter users to weigh in on his ideas to end Russia's war. Now, some of you will say, well, who's Elon Musk? Who does he think he is? And Elon Musk is a unique figure in our culture. Part Steve Jobs, part Donald Trump, part Richard Branson. What is this guy? Elon Musk is a figure that could only exist now, evidently a genius in a number of areas. He's doubtless a controversial and polarizing figure. He garners affection and following that no other billionaires do. Why is that? But he also attracts criticism that no other corporate and potentially invisible powerful billionaire figures attract. Why is that? What is the meaning of Elon Musk? In a tweet, Musk suggested UN-supervised elections in 4 occupied...
Well, I'm glad we're talking about this. Well, this is the problem. They belong to Ukraine. Russia has no fucking say. They aren't part Russian. They are a part of Ukraine. Why the fuck would there be elections about it? They already had elections back in 91, 92 when the USSR was crumbling. Do they want to be a part of Russia? Do they want to be a part of Ukraine? They decided Ukraine, and Ukraine was born. So no, there should be no... And Elon Musk saying this is basically taking the side of Putin, that, okay, it's fine to go with the military, and we just need to hand you what you want, because we don't want a war. No.
Regions that Moscow has falsely annexed after what it called referendums. If you're going to have an election, make sure it's properly run and that all the votes are correctly counted and there's absolutely no skullduggery.
This is what I'm saying. He's implying that elections are like rigged a lot. He's not saying it straight, but he's implying it by watching straight at us, pointing the finger and talking about it like it's a common thing. And he has implied a lot of times, not said, implied, that the last US elections, the counting was rigged. But when he was confronted by it, I'm not saying anything, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking if that's possible. He's saying the same shit again.
Right, kids? The vote...
There! Oh my fucking god. This is the sort of thing right-wingers are doing. What I was talking about with the Alex Jones video. They say shit like this. Like, this is the sort of shit that is like really common nowadays. And Russell Brand is part of the fucking problem.
All the votes are correctly counted and there's absolutely no skullduggery. Right, kid?
And there was a cut there. So he has made this take a couple of times.
The votes were denounced by Kiev and Western governments as illegal and coercive. Not only was it illegal, you forced people to do it. Russia leaves.
Again.
If that is the will of the people, Musk wrote. Okay, seems like a sensible selection. I'm certainly not claiming to be an expert on that complex geopolitical situation. We've done numerous videos about the history of the region, NATO escalation, potential sabotage. We've done lots of videos on this subject. And I just want to clarify again.
I want to clarify, he has done 0 videos where he's saying that Russia should stop all the military actions in Ukraine and just withdraw. He has done 0 videos of that.
Again, my sympathy lies with people that suffer as a result of war. Full stop. The Tesla chief executive also...
He hasn't condemned Russia's actions. He didn't actually say that his sympathy was towards the Ukrainians that are actually like fighting for their own country, or a foreign country invading. He didn't say that. Again, saying a lot of stuff, but saying little to none.
Suggested that Crimea, which Moscow seized in 2014, be formally recognised as Russia, that water supply to Crimea be assured, and that Ukraine remain neutral. He asked Twitter users to vote yes or no to his idea. So far, it seems to me that a powerful figure is using his platform in order to provoke debate. Now, I suppose, up to this point, how can you disagree with that? Do you want the Twitter sphere and the world of Instagram to be entirely limited to profanity and idiocy and inanity? Oh, Happy Meals, football in space. I'm quite interested in that football in space. And Happy Meals. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky weighed in on Twitter and asked with a poll which
That's some fucking weird news outlets. His PC Mag. Why is he quoting PC Mag? He could just go to fucking Twitter.
Elon Musk do you like more? One who supports Ukraine or one that supports Russia? So obviously that he's agitated by that response. And what we're being invited to do there, I would say, is like, you know, for me, Zelensky seems like a heroic figure. Didn't he used to be a comedian? Now he's running a country. You can see why I'd be into that idea.
Again, he's implying that Zelensky isn't suitable and is a puppet for the US. He's not saying it. He's implying it, and all of his fucking right-wing followers are reading between the fucking lines because that's the shit that works to them. And he knows it, and he's milking it.
Idea. But also with Zelensky, if you look at what's being asked there, is for blind, unquestioning support. Now, I don't think blind, unquestioning support is a good idea sort of ever. I mean, even if it was a member of your family or something, like, I'm going to blindly and unquestioning. You might do that emotionally. You might say, I don't even care if they murder someone. I'm just going to love them till the end of time. But some people, you would hope, would remain objective and neutral in that situation. Ultimately, don't all of us want that war to end? Ultimately, don't all of us want a peaceful solution? Ultimately, don't all of us want the individuals of this world and the communities of this world to be free from suffering and for people to have the ability to run their own lives? I know that's what I want. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments.
So why the fuck is it so hard to say that Russia needs to stop their fucking aggression and go back home? I wonder why that's so hard for Russia brand to say. I know, I can tell you why.
Now we are in a complex conflict that is becoming more conflict that doubtlessly involves certain financial interests and imperialist interests on both sides of the argument. It seems from my perspective as an uninformed
Both sides of the oh my fucking
observer that Putin does not respond well to escalation. He doesn't behave like an ordinary strategist given
escalation. Escalation. So should Ukraine just like go down to their knees and beg and let them just take over their country? Putin has already said that he wants to bring back USSR. If Putin doesn't react well to escalation, maybe the solution should be for the whole of the world to say, like, put their foot down. I don't know. Make them stop.
that he's a Russian and they are famously great at chess, he don't seem to be like a Kasparov-like figure. You do this, then I do that. You do this, then I do that. He's more like, I'll bite my finger off. Like, so when you're dealing with someone like that, you can say, well, I've got principles. I'm going to carry on with my principles. Or you can say, what's likely to be best for the planet overall? Now, I think Elon Musk probably has...
No, don't pull that bullshit. Don't fucking pull that bullshit. Like, it's best for the planet because of the threat of nuclear war that this country just needs to surrender because Russia just wants something that they own. As a Finn, who we are next to Russia, what stops Russia from taking something from us then? Or Belarus or other neighboring countries? But we don't want a nuclear war, so we just need to surrender them. That's the fucking fault Russell Brand and other right-wing people don't understand. Russia is the aggressor. They need to be stopped. Because if we give them what they want at the moment, they will use that again and again. Because Putin has stated they want to do that. And they will do that.
Such expertise, excellence, brilliance and ingenuity in so many areas. Oh, people want cars to be like this, do them like that. People want rockets to be like this, do them like that. People want flamethrowers, people want... He's got to come up with so many ideas and people seem so interested in his opinions that it's perfectly natural, I imagine, for him to say, well, how would you solve this conflict? I mean, don't all of us do it? But it seems what he's proposing is a potential diplomatic solution that would put an end to the conflict. And if he's like, well, we don't want to capitulate to a bully. Yeah, well, this isn't school. This is like a potential nuclear war. So I'm not saying don't...
But you are fucking saying it. Like, I fucking hate this bullshit. I have to read this bullshit in Twitter every fucking day. like, I'm not saying this, but I'm saying it right after that statement. I'm not saying this, but
support Ukraine up to and including nuclear Armageddon, maybe that is your position. If it is your position, declare that. I don't care if there's a nuclear war. I've put the sticker in the window. I've changed the picture in the bio. And if it means...
No. It's not an ultimatum like that. I don't want a nuclear war. And I support Ukraine as much as they need to. You don't need to pick one. You can pick both. We need to stop Russia. We need to stop Putin. If there's a nuclear war, it's not because we support Ukraine. It's because of Putin's actions. And this guy is a fucking puppet for not being able to say that. And it's incredible that people believe this bullshit. It's not Ukraine's fault if there's a nuclear war, if Russia uses nuclear weapons. It's not Ukraine's fault, it's not the West's fault. They are not pushing the button. Russia could stop now. End the whole thing. Russia could end everything now. Without any more destruction, any more deaths, no nuclear war. They could end it now. It's Russia's fault if there's a nuclear strike. It's Russia's fault if there's a nuclear attack, nuclear war. There is no, you either with Ukraine or you're with Ukraine and you want nuclear war, or you want a diplomatic resolution and to stop war. There is I can't fucking believe a lot of people believe this bullshit.
That all our pets die in the garden and for 50 years the soil is untillable. I am willing to die for it. That's a question that I think you need to sit with.
Sponsorship.
Hey, have you noticed that big tech feeds on
I'm not giving you this.
the war if the fight expands to Crimea, which Russia currently controls? As evidence of his support for Ukraine, he pointed to SpaceX funding of Starlink in the countries, an internet network. SpaceX's out-of-pocket cost to enable and support
SpaceX didn't pay. The United States government paid for the Starlink. Yeah, that's what Musk left out. That's apparently what Russell Brand left out. But the United States paid SpaceX to enable Starlink. So Musk didn't do charity. SpaceX didn't do charity. The United States government paid for Starlink. That's a known fact. But it doesn't fit the narrative.
Starlink in Ukraine is $80 million so far. Our support for Russia is $0. Obviously, we are pro-Ukraine, he wrote in a tweet. So, on that basis, if it's true, seems like he's pro-Ukraine and he's got an opinion that's pro-diplomacy. And the real problem is that there's a very simple line that you're supposed to toe around this subject, which focuses on the thing that's obvious. The suffering of Ukrainian people is bad. That's obvious. That's called phatic. That's when something is so obvious, you don't need to say it. It's obvious that...
You could say it, though. Like, you could say that you are, like, empathetic for the suffering of the Ukrainian people, considering there's a fucking lunatic on the other side of the border who actually wants to, like, go full war on everybody.
So, what he's trying to do is open discourse into areas that are more complex. Now, do you want to just focus on the Happy Meals and the football in space, or are you a grown-up? Me, it's a bit of both, actually. I want the Happy Meals and the football in space, and I want to be a grown-up. I don't
think you want to be a grown-up. I think you're just as bad as the big media at the moment. Like, he's just saying shit that's getting him views. Because he knows there's a lot of right-wing lunatics watching him. And they know what he's saying, even though he's not saying anything. But I'm not saying anything.
Don't want to be tyrannized into dumbness by a state and centralized big tech alliances with the state that see me as an idiot, just want me to eat my mush. Potentially in space. Trying to retake Crimea will cause massive death, probably fail, and risk nuclear war. This will be terrible for Ukraine and Earth.
But Crimea is a part of Ukraine, though. I'm sorry, there's like 2 nations who have voted yes, that it belongs to Russia. North Korea, and what was the other one? Can't think of. North Korea was one. Probably Belarus. But every other nation is saying Crimea is a part of Ukraine, so...
Which I believe is where we all live. So there you go. That's certainly an interesting perspective from Elon Musk. This is George Beebe from Responsible Statecraft. Elon Musk is right. Perhaps not in the particulars of the peace settlement for Ukraine that he recently proposed for his millions of Twitter followers. Such a settlement can only be determined over the course of multi-dimensional diplomatic negotiations. But Musk is right that if things in Ukraine continue along their present course, the United States and Russia are headed toward a collision that could have catastrophic consequences for all parties to the conflict and for the world. And he is right that America's approach to this mounting problem requires an urgent adjustment. How many of you agree with that? Musk appears...
No. I don't. You know why? The United States hasn't threatened to use nuclear weapons. They've actually said that even if Russia uses nuclear weapons, the United States will not use nuclear weapons. But Russia has threatened with nuclear weapons. So I don't know, again, why Russell Brand isn't talking about Russia readjusting their attitude towards this situation. He's only talking about the United States. That's a bit strange to me. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Is to grasp what the Biden administration does not. That Putin is not following the script we've written for him in Ukraine. That script involves a calculation of costs and benefits that will lead him to back away from confrontation with the United States and NATO. Musk has done much to help Ukraine defend itself against Russia's invasion. Now he is doing Ukraine, the United States and the world a service in highlighting the need for a diplomatic track to accompany the military pushback we've employed so far against Russia in Ukraine. Confronting Putin with a choice between humiliation and nuclear escalation is a formula for disaster. Seems to me to be a pretty sensible and intelligent opinion. Elon Musk is a unique figure. Part Jobs, part Trump with his outspoken populist tendencies, part Branson with his ability to understand marketing. He is a peculiar creature of our times. No doubt an innovator, and on the personal contact that I've had with him, he seems like a pretty good person, and I'm very excited to have him on our show. How does he dominate the news space? Because he has the power to openly speak and not be afraid of censorship, and because he has the platform.
Even if you have the opportunity to speak freely, one must ask, should you? Like, before putting shit like that on the internet, you would think that you asked yourself, should you? Or somebody on your team, you probably have a PR person. They should be the ones that are asking that, Elon, is that the smartest thing to say now?
Through Twitter to reach a lot of people. We are doing the work of the censors in trying to prohibit and inhibit Elon Musk. He is an unusual and idiosyncratic figure, and he is a billionaire, and I suppose therefore you could make the arguments you could make against anyone with that much wealth and power, and those are arguments that I would certainly like the chance to present to Elon Musk in person. But as for this issue in the Ukraine, I guess he invites us to consider, what do you really mean when you say you support the Ukraine?
I support Ukraine 100%. They have the right to their own land. Russia doesn't have the right to that land. If there's nuclear war, it's because of Russia's actions, not because of Ukraine's. Ukraine wants to keep their country whole. Russia wants to break it. I support Ukraine 100%. I have no difficulty in saying it because I'm not a shield to the right, and I'm also not a shield for Russia. So I would like Russell Brand to be able to say it. I doubt he'll be able to ever say that, because he would probably lose a lot of viewers and subscribers probably.
Do you support the Ukraine up to the point of nuclear Armageddon? If that's where you are, then I admire you. Myself, I would prefer a diplomatic solution.
There you go. Well, there's your answer. A shield to Russia, then.
Prefer an end to all suffering through war. I pray that we are at the point in our personal and social evolution where we are beyond that kind of unnecessary, pointless conflict that only benefits elite institutions.
I am a full-blown pacifist. Anybody who's been watching me knows that. I hate war, I hate the military, I hate killing. I think no man should have the right to take another man's life, ever. Russia's the only one who's wrong here, not Ukraine. Russia. There is no other diplomatic solution than Russia should withdraw every single military personnel out of Ukraine's lands and stop this war. If they don't do that, the rest of the world should act and demilitarize Russia and denuclearize Russia. I don't know how you say that, but take away all their nuclear weapon and take away, just like we did with Germany after the Second World War. Russia should suffer the same fate.
And establishment figures, and ultimately causes more and more suffering. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think in the chat. Have a look at either of these videos.
No, I don't think I will. But at least we know what a fucking shill this guy is. He's saying a lot, but he's saying nothing, and he's still saying a lot. And a lot of people are, well, you saw what it is. If you can't say, talking about the Ukraine-Russia incident, if you can't say that Russia's the one who's in the wrong, I think you have some fucking issues. I think you have some biases. I think you have some interest you don't want to piss off.